subscribe.
Poker face. Poker face. Poker face. Poker face. Poker face.
No more saying cuss words. It is not good. I'm putting a video on YouTube about no more saying cuss words. No more saying cuss words, guys. It's inappropriate and violent. If you say a cuss word, then you're like going to jail, and you're like, when you go to jail, if you say a cuss word, you go to jail, and when you go to jail, you said a cuss word, then you're only going to eat broccoli and other vegetables for your whole life. You don't want to eat vegetables. Sometimes people like eating sweets, but I eat broccoli. So I'm okay with broccoli, but I do not want to go to jail. You cannot go to jail. And saying cuss words is illegal. They are now. You are nice. You are pretty. You are smart. You are my friend.
Wait, let's do it.
How many Jews died in the Holocaust? Do you know? 6 million? Not true. Not true. Can I comfort you a little bit? Nobody told you that before. Not even 3 million. Big discount, no? 50% off. Not even 3 million. So really, he killed his own people. Technically, they come to Shamayim, these people, these goyim, say, wow, we lost from both sides. We got killed like Jews, and we don't have a share to the world to come. That's really what happened.
America is under attack. We are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
Defeating the radical left, the Marxists, the agitators, the anarchists.
With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will liberate America from these villains once and for all. As my first order of business, I hereby declare martial law. You have to take out their family. When you get these terrorists, you have to take out their family.
There are a lot of killers. There are a lot of killers. Well, you think that Buckley's so innocent?
Death penalty. Bring it forth.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represented extremism.
Americanism, not globalism.
That threatens the very foundation
Will be our Gino.
of our republic. I'm gonna bomb the shit out of them. Hell, people, hell,
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday night, my dudes. We are halfway there. No EMP has been deployed yet to DC, okay? Despite perhaps some of my earlier promises, no tactical EMP has been delivered as of yet, okay? I'm not saying that there's a possibility of it happening in the next 4 hours, but you never know, okay? Because we got some cool updates. I actually don't know what any of it means. No one has actually explained how it's going to work in the next 4 hours, but fingers crossed that it's cool. Either way, we got a Dugan Ashley update. We got some stuff to give away on that front. We've got updates to Staccato. We've got updates to, actually, I forgot about that one. And then, of course, we'll get into the news. Brandon Herrera being the guinea pig for all of this, which is funny because, of course, he'll be in Congress and he's a very public figure. A bunch of rage bait, and hopefully we'll get out of here super early today because that's right. I've got other work to do, unfortunately. But before we get to all of that, Richard, how are you doing today?
Good. I hope chat's doing good. Hope everybody's having a good week.
Heck yeah, halfway there so far. Yeah, as Wubba Bubba says, Brandon is literally going to take one for the team. Modern day Chris Columbus. Yeah, exactly. Although I think he's like probably one of the most insulated people to do it. So if somebody's going to be the guinea pig, so to speak, then it might as well.
Your mic just cut out.
Oh, I didn't even touch it, bro. I don't know what's going on there. I've needed to get a new cable for like months, and I've just been so lazy. But anyways, if there's somebody that's going to be the guinea pig, if there's someone that's going to be the guinea pig, Brandon Herrera should be it. Like, he's very insulated as a person. All right, let's get into a little bit of a Dugan update then, shall we? Chemistry of questionable quality, who is a former mod of Dugan's Discord server, posted, I just talked to Dugan, Ashley, Jordan, Derek, and they got a continuance until sometime in October. So they can actually have a bit of a chance to go through the ridiculously formatted discovery documents. We're gathering facts for his defense, and he is doing well. Now, I think that they got something like 2 million documents from the prosecution, and the prosecution is being monsters. I mean, for a lack of a better term, they're making him go through them like one by one in like, printed out binders, and there's page numbers, but there's no way to search anything. There's no like rhyme or reason to the way that the documents are formatted, right? They're making it as difficult as possible, as confusing as possible, as much bad data and noise as they can to kind of flood the zone, so to speak. So they have a continuance until October, according to the wife. They will probably keep pushing it back month by month. So the actual trial date, again, is October, but it's never going to happen in October. It's probably going to be at some point early next year. There are a couple of players moving in the background that I'm trying to get situated, okay, to help in any way that they can. The give, send, go that I will go ahead and drop in chat as well for all of you lovely gentlemen who are currently watching over on YouTube, Rumble, and Kick, and X as well, of course. Let's go to the update real fast. So this was today, reached 90K. Thank you all for your prayers and support. I've moved the goal to 100K, as that is the estimated trial fee and could likely exceed that. The trial date has been extended and will likely be extended again. Again, thank you to everyone's generous hearts. This is an incredibly hard time for our family, but it makes a huge difference knowing so many care for and love Jordan. Phoebe, that is, of course, his wife and family. It is just over 90,000, heading to 91. Total trial fees are expected to be between 100 and 150K. So as I've said from the beginning, I have an extreme level of confidence in the community at large that we will meet and exceed what he needs for trial. So that is kind of secondary to me. What is most important is that he actually wins, and gets as much help as he can during the actual trial phase, right? So that element goes as good as possible. Now, the secondary update to that is through some of the other charity fundraising events, I have been gifted another 4 free Dugan t-shirts on top of the couple that I already had from before. So I'm going to be giving these away to people who email me or message me on Instagram or any social media that you and I have, and you have access to my DMs. All you need to do is send me a DM with a copy of a receipt that you donated to the Give, Send, Go for Dugan Ashley, and I will send you one of the t-shirts. First come, first serve. If you're somebody who already won one of the first ones, please message me back because I might have forgotten your shipping address info. I have 2 larges, an extra large, and for you big boys out there, you big boy supporters, I got a triple XL as well. So I have 4 t-shirts to give away. All you have to do is message me your receipt of any donation level to Dugan Ashley or Jordan Derek's Give, Send, Go, and I will drop that link once again for everyone. All right. That is the update on Dugan so far. Your prayers, your support are very, very appreciated. Continue to do that. Continue to make noise, and hopefully we get some positive movement on this in the next couple of months. All right. And if you're a 6XL, I'm sorry. Honestly, unless you're like 300 pounds lean, a triple XL is probably time to hit the gym. Okay. All right. Okay.
2XL will fit. A lot of people, I promise you.
I mean, I've worn an XL, but I'm like 5 feet tall. So for me, it's like wearing a
Dress.
parachute. Yeah, basically. It goes down to my knees. Kind of embarrassing, honestly. Anyways, let's move on from there, shall we? Links in the description. Please message me, and you can win a free shirt. Or, well, after you donate, of course. Anyways, Staccato, last couple of days, they've been getting in some hot water for their warranty claims, for some of the things that dealers have said about them that may not have been entirely true. Now, you can label the accusation of lying or whatever else that you want to on like Shooters Connection and some of the other dealers that got cut out of Staccato's dealer program. But essentially, their co-CEO yesterday put up a post kind of clarifying what has been done, what has been updated to kind of round out the drama. Shooters Connection made a post 2 days ago on Instagram saying that not only were they kicked out of the Staccato dealer program, which actually I've heard numbers as high as 80% of Staccato dealers got cut out of the Staccato dealer program, including some of the biggest shops that sold the most Staccato. So I'm not really sure the rhyme or reason why certain dealers were cut out and others weren't, but allegedly up to 80% of Staccato dealers were cut from their program. The reason being from Staccato's side is that they're claiming they can better serve the ones that they do keep and do maintain. I have one distinguished gentleman who distinguished gentleman who works at an FFL, who is one of the larger Staccato dealers. And their problem was they never got anything new and could only get old stock. So we're talking like 2023 guns that they would get as new from Staccato, even though they sold, X many millions of dollars worth of Staccato every year. On top of that, Staccato is not a great company to be a dealer for. The margins on Staccato dealers are extremely low, like shockingly low, greedily low, right? Where Staccato seems to be basically taking advantage of their dealers instead of like actually having them make money. Most of the 2011s make like 40% margin. With Staccato, it's nowhere near that. It is awfully low, pathetically low. So low that if I were an FFL, I wouldn't want to carry Staccato because it's not worth having them and selling them. On top of the fact that I don't think their pistols are particularly exciting. Now, there was another piece of drama with Shooters Connection involving their warranty, right? So they were claiming that their entire inventory was going to be marked as used because they were kicked out of the dealer program. That's not entirely true. I think they have 6 or 12 months to sell their new stock before it gets downgraded to used, and therefore Staccato will still honor the warranty of those guns that are sold as new in the next 6 to 12 months, whatever that time period happens to be. Now, that's still weird to me, and that's still a terrible warranty program. If, like, most good warranties in the industry, especially on high dollar items, are on the serial number on that firearm for its lifetime, regardless of who the owner is. If I buy an Atlas from someone on the secondhand market, it still has a lifetime warranty. If I buy almost any handgun, regardless of if I'm the first or fourth buyer, I still have a lifetime warranty on it. So it is awkward that Staccato's, warranty covers the original purchaser, but not used models, which to me does seem quite silly for a company selling high dollar premium 2011s, right?
I'm not sure if Keltec still has a warranty like that, but I know at one point in time they were honoring warranties on even used products. Like, it doesn't matter how many times it's been bought and sold.
Well, right. Most companies are just, it's the life of the product itself. It's a fully transferable warranty. It doesn't matter who owns it. It's just, it's a gun. It's not like changing hands or selling magically makes it unreliable. If you stand behind your product, you stand behind your product. And in fact, like Nighthawk and a bunch of the other guys, they just made Instagram posts clowning on Staccato. They're like, hey, if you own one of our products, we don't care if you bought it from the original owner, from the second owner, from the ninth owner at a pawn shop, stole it. We don't care. We're going to honor your warranty. Okay. However you came into possession of that gun, great. We're going to honor your warranty because we stand behind our products. And it's an easy dunk, right? You get a dunk on your competition Staccato, and you get a, brag that you don't charge them for extended services. Now, another bit of drama was that the $200 yearly warranty isn't really a warranty. It's more of like an above and beyond service and maintenance where you could like send in your gun to them to be cleaned for $200 a year. And I'm like, you're sending your gun through UPS or FedEx to get cleaned by Staccato. You know, you could pay your local gunsmith at your local gun store like $50 or $75, and you don't have to have it shipped through the mail, right? I couldn't imagine doing that for a cleaning. Like, how gay and retarded do you have to be to ship your firearm through the mail for a cleaning?
Dentist level.
You have to be a dentist, right? Dentist hate in the chat, please. That's so bad, right? I mean, you can't clean your firearm, so you're going to go through the trouble of packing it up, you know, getting a label, shipping it off to them, and then waiting like a week to get it back for a cleaning. Like, maybe that is just a Staccato thing that I'm not aware of. You know, maybe that's just Staccato people things. But that is like unthinkable to me or any normal human. That's crazy. Imagine sending your gun off to get cleaned. Imagine cleaning your guns in the first place, right? But I digress. Okay, so here is the update statement from the co-CEO of Staccato.
Buck Pearson. I'm the co-CEO of Staccato 2011. I wanted to take a few minutes to discuss some of the online discussions that have been happening around our dealer reduction, what our warranty really is, and how we're deciding what is considered new inventory. So first topic I want to cover is our reduction in dealer network. Yes, we are doing a minor reduction in our overall dealer network so that we can invest more time, effort, material.
Now, again, he's saying minor. I don't know what the number actually is. But again, from people in the industry working at gun stores, I've heard it's upwards of 80%. Like, we're talking the biggest dealers in the country are getting cut out, which seems strange. Like, obviously, you would keep all your big accounts and maybe get rid of some weird mom and pop shops or like basement shops or, you know, like hole in the walls or whatnot. But why are we canceling like the largest Staccato dealer in multiple states? Why are we doing weird stuff like that? Just doesn't make any sense to me.
Inventory and events at our core dealers. We're doing this because we want to provide better customer experiences for our customers that are going to those dealers. All of our new firearms and our CPO guns.
He doesn't look comfortable, does he? Like, just the body language, the big gulps. I'm like, you all right? This was probably foisted upon him because of Monday's Instagram post by Shooters Connection, right? Which is also a huge dealer, right? Insane dealer for them, like $20 million over the last 20 years, and they get cut out. Just seems quite strange.
Have always had a lifetime warranty and will always have a lifetime warranty that is no cost to the consumer. There is no monthly or annual charge to get a warranty on one of our pistols. That is a false statement. Lastly, the third topic that's been bouncing around the internet is that we are telling dealers that we have closed down as official Staccato dealers that their current new inventory is now considered used and no longer under warranty. That is a false statement. All new guns, regardless of where you buy them as a consumer, come with our full lifetime warranty. Now, Now, keep in mind, all new guns.
All new guns. So that is the delineation between, you know, again, Nighthawk or some of the other 2011 manufacturers, or really most firearms manufacturers, and what Staccato says. If you buy a new Staccato from anyone, regardless of if they're in or out of the dealer program specifically, still under warranty. But if it's used, then you're out.
Changes that we're making in our structure and our network are solely to invest deeper in our relationship development, both with our customers as well as our dealers, so that we can scale the company to build towards a better future for all of us. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sure we'll do another one of these in the near future to answer all the questions that you will be sending to us.
Now that, again, it seems strange to me because you're limiting consumer options, right? Like in my town, if I go to Sioux Falls, both of the big gun stores in Sioux Falls, which is Shields and Gary's, both have a rack of Staccatos. Like, they just do. You know, Shields obviously is a big store with, you know, lots of locations, and they have probably 20 to 30 Staccatos in their case at all times, regardless, not including used one in the used cases. I'm talking about new in a dedicated Staccato case, right? Gary's, I think, has like a shelf dedicated to Staccato, so it's a little different. But to me, it's like, helping the consumer is giving them options on where to purchase. Removing consumer options on where to purchase does not help consumers. Why is limiting my options as a consumer a good thing? How are we possibly running with that? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know if it was just that he's uncomfortable or if this was forced or if he's constipated, but I hope he gets help.
Yeah, well, he's probably just uncomfortable on camera, which is interesting because he was the guy that did the interview talking about the Delta CAG HD 5X or whatever they're going to call it, right? On that big podcast. And he did not seem as uncomfortable in that podcast appearance. So I'm not sure what the difference is between then and now, or if this was just like foisted upon him so he didn't have any time to prepare. He looks like a cryptid. That's funny. Okay, so on that topic, Kimber 2K11 versus Staccatos. With my limited experience on both, I think Kimber is doing a lot more interesting things at a much more interesting price point. They also stand behind their guns and they got a lot of different options. So at the Shields that I go to in Sioux Falls, there's like a case of Staccatos and a case of Kimber 2K11s next to each other. The Kimbers have better features for $1,000 less, like almost across the board. It's like the Staccato P versus a normal 2K11. It's like $1,700 versus $2,500. An XC versus the Pro Comp or whatever they call it for Kimber. It's like one is 24 and one is 45. It's like, whoa, my gosh, right? So Kimber offers similar or better features at a vastly reduced price point. And they're basically the same type of guns, right? Polymer grips, steel framed, generic 2011s of whatever shape and size that you want, right? And again, the Kimber does the same thing, just for about $1,000 less. And they seem to be much more receptive to customer feedback. They don't pull any of this nonsense shenanigans. I haven't checked out their warranty, but it can't be worse than Kimber or worse than Staccato. Sorry. So yeah, that's true, Doc. Doc has a good point here. Kimber isn't built for heroes. Go ahead, Richard.
Their warranty is much better now, and customer service as a whole, right? That improved greatly after they got rid of Ron Cohen.
Correct. Since the Kimber 2K11 has been out for what, 3 years now? 2 years now? They've been doing good work at rehabilitating their name, because yes, Kimber back in the day, horrible reputation, right? I mean, you couldn't be caught dead carrying a Kimber, okay? If you had a Kimber 1911, you were like 70 plus years old, okay? That's just the way that it was. Nowadays, Kimber 2K11s, I see them all the time. Lots of people own Kimber 2K11s, especially for comp shooters, for high volume shooters. People love them. They do the trick for the LO division, you know? What else was I going to say there? Something about it. Okay, what I was going to add on to this is Staccato. The reason why they're probably like this vibe to me, I just don't get. I don't agree with them that this is good for consumers for reducing their dealer network. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, the reason why they probably don't care is because if you go to Staccato's website, it's going to tell you that, hey, we're trusted by 180 plus departments. It's because they care about mill and LE sales, right? So rather than spreading their inventory super thin over dealers all across the country, they're going to reduce that and probably increase supply for mill and LE contracts. That's my guess, right? Staccato's going after those guys. They're raising their prices. The HD line is specifically targeted at police departments, essentially, right? Glock magazine fed, drop safe. They're going after PDs quite successfully, I might add, with 180 plus departments across the country. And so that's what they care about. Not you, not me, not the individual police departments, you know? Just like a lot of other companies before them, it's like HK. Does HK really care about the US civilian market? Kind of, but not really, right? Not the grand scheme of things. They do so much more business, infinitely more business almost with, mill and LE contracts. So, Wafdu says, Romulus? No, please no. But dude, I almost bought a Romulus and I just heard so many issues from so many other people. If you get a good one, they're good. If you don't get a good one, you're screwed. It's like, my Fusion XP Pro Comp blown up twice now. It sounds like it's too good to be true. It's probably too good to be true. The Platypus does the Staccato thing at roughly the same cost for a more custom 2011 with a bunch of different options. Honestly, I would go with a Staccato, or sorry, a Platypus over a Staccato if you can handle their wait time. So, all right. Travel says HK ain't making CC9s for cops and military. That's true. I don't think they're making that gun for anyone though. I don't know a single person that has an HK CC9. I don't know a single one. There's probably somebody in the chat that's like, actually, I have one and it's really good. It might be good. I just don't think you exist in real life. That's all. Okay, well, let's go through some of the comments here on this. Crazy. I'm literally watching the death of Staccato before GTA 6. I've never seen Glock make a video like this. Good point. This is a great Glock advertisement. TLDR, just buy a Glock. Too much drama here. Kimber has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. Kimber should just make this video again, but just say the opposite in it. Like, be intentionally like really shifty eyed, like have a gun come in from the corner of the camera for a second. And they're like, we offer a lifetime warranty on all of our products, regardless of who owns it or where you bought it from or its condition, because we stand behind our product. You know, like the Key and Peele skit, just have them like dripping in sweat the entire time while they're saying like normal things. They're like, we're not cutting our dealer list because we want to give consumers opt-ins, right? Sounds like selling $1,500 pistols for 4K isn't moving units like it used to. Hamburger, true. Sounds like the work of private equity number guys. Broke my pistol running to the comments. Smells like damage control for an overpriced handgun. Oh, dude, they're getting roasted. In another timeline, we got an XC variant of the CS and Staccato supported smaller legacy dealers. Instead, we have HD series, no optics plates with a 4K pistol in this whole situation. So true, Nightwood Guns. So true. Yeah, I mean, it didn't help. It didn't help them at all. This video is not great. My apologies for everyone for making them watch it. But we got something else, okay? You thought that was bad. Now we got the grip trainer, okay? It's a jump scare. What is this? Who is this for? No idea. But somebody sent this to me and I had to see it, so you have to as well, okay? This is called the Grip Keeper. Staccato Grip Keeper Grip Trainer is so clean. So it's one of those little squeeze things, but in the shape of a Staccato. This is what Staccato owners want, though, right? If you're a Staccato P owner, you look at this, you're like, heck yeah, dude, I need that. I got to train my grip, my dentist grip. Okay, dentists got soft hands. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of hard work. Okay, they have like really like tiny little fingers that get in there to pick and clean at things. Okay, they're good at being in people's mouths. Not good for gripping guns. Okay, so they gotta squeeze, train that grip up.
P owners got to train their grip.
It's true.
This grip trainer out. Staccato P, flat trigger. It's got our training TLR7 HLX light on there, mounted on there. It's got the 507 comp.
Okay, so they also, for the red dot, they just have a big fiber optic in the middle.
Is that another front sight? I think it's just another dovetail front sight.
No, that's what it is. It's like a fiber optic, front sight post, but it's elevated to the point where the red dot would be, right? Because it's a grip trainer. I just don't get, like, what is this supposed to do? You actually don't have to grip a pistol very hard. Although is the idea that it's, let's say it's a 15-pound like grip strength trainer, right? So the idea is, as long as you keep it fully compressed, that's all the grip that you need, right? So, because like you can obviously over torque the gun, and that's what most people's problem is actually gripping the gun too hard. But let's say you want to grip it just hard enough. Maybe this actually isn't a terrible idea. If it's set up to where you grip the gun just hard enough to compress the grip, but no harder than that. And then you can feel if your grip loosens or anything like that, you can feel it move in your hand. So maybe it's like not actually a terrible thing for having a consistently set grip. I don't know. Maybe I'm sold on this. Maybe I need to get one now. Not actually. No, you can just, spoiler alert, you can just grip the gun consistently in dry fire and then prove that in live fire that your grip works just fine the way you want it to. And then you're good to go. You don't actually need to buy this, right? Spoiler alert, if you own a Staccato, you can just dry fire with a Staccato. Well, can this work like a P7? Well, again, it's just a plastic. It's not anything. It's just a trainer, which This is something that Staccato owners would buy. They would buy a grip trainer for their Staccato rather than dry fire with their Staccato. I'll take 3. Is it made out of Armod? Probably. All right. Well, that is that. And surprisingly, people are actually buying this. Back ordered for months, still waiting on mine. Fiber optic site mockup is the red dot for site picture. Fire? No, that's not fire. If only there was a way to add the laser trainer with the grip trainer. Are these people serious? Did I accidentally bump into like FUD gun Instagram?
Yes, this is the people who would much rather dry fire with a training tool in their bedroom than go out.
Well, no, you can just dry fire with your real gun in the bedroom. That's what I do.
That will wear out. That'll wear out springs in the firing pin.
Right. People unironically asking for combined laser grips in 2026 need to be executed. Okay, that's my moderate plan. Dumb crap. Correct. Considering the majority of your grip could come from your support hand. What? The majority of your grip should come from your support hand.
I'm sorry, huh?
That's a weird. I don't grip like that. I don't think most people grip like that. I think most people try and like even out the grip and, keep their hands as quote unquote relaxed as possible, yes, more firing hand tension. Correct. That's good if you want to suck more. Do the grip trainer models fit a holster? Please do a CZ Shadow 2 compact or people are no Beretta love. People are actually asking for this. What is your problem? Here we go. Now this is a good one. Chavish says, my therapist recommended this to me, saying to put it in my mouth whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed. It's really working. Well, yes. Okay. If you're going to put something in your mouth, put the grip trainer in your mouth. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. We're 30 minutes in. I put it off as long as possible. Gun owners of America, it is the deadline today. Technically speaking, okay, hold your horses. The DOJ could electronically appeal for the next 2 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, so they have 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is why I should have just dropped the EMP right about now, right? Because they still have 2 hours and 20 minutes to appeal it. But if I had to guess, they've waited this long. I think that we made it through. I think we won. I think we got this one. I mean, it would be hilarious to me if they waited till 11:59 to electronically appeal. Like the troll in me would do that to like my opposition. Okay. But I don't think that's going to be the case. But I think we won, which is quite interesting. So Gun Owners of America posts today, our requested deadline has come and gone, and neither the ATF nor DOJ responded. Gun Owners of America, Silencer Shop, the AK guy, Brendan Herrera, and West Virtle, Texas, will proceed with the transfer of suppressors tonight at 12:01 a.m. CDT, the first in 92 years without complying with the NFA registration requirements currently enjoined by the court. So that is correct. At 12:01, Brandon Herrera has signed up to be the guinea pig for this whole endeavor. He is going to be transferred a suppressor without any NFA paperwork, and he's going to essentially dare the ATF and DOJ to come after him, which is funny because, of course, he's about to be a congressman. There he is memeing in front of this former Tony Gonzalez's seat, and he's essentially saying, you know what, if you're going to do something about it, you got to do it now. And if they're not going to go after him, then, the rest of us should be okay, I think. I think that's how it works. Now, keep in mind, this is not nationwide. This is not for everyone. I still do not know how this actually works. I have no idea if you, a GOA member or a certain state member or a Palmetto State Armory customer or a Silencer Shop customer, which I happen to be like all four of those things, I'm not sure if you can just go to a gun shop tomorrow and say, hey, I'm a GOA member, sign me out that suppressor, I'm walking away with it. Right? I don't know if that's actually the case. I don't know how it's actually going to work. I don't know if FFLs are going to wait for guidance from the ATF or DOJ on how to proceed with people who are members of this injunction. Of course, that being GOA, Silencer Shop, 15 states, Palmetto State Armory, and maybe one other, which I forget about. So to Honorable Todd Blanche and Robert Cicada, dear Attorney General Blanche and Director Cicada, we wish to respectfully provide you notice that at midnight on August 13th, 2026, the undersigned parties intend to engage in the commercial transfer of firearm silencers without complying with the currently enjoined requirements of the National Firearms Act. In undertaking these planned transfers, we intend to fully comply with state and federal law, including the Gun Control Act and associated ATF regulations, along with the terms of the permanent injunctions entered by Judge James Wesley Hendricks of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas. The silencer shop litigation involves a challenge to the NFA's registration requirements for certain NFA quote-unquote firearms. In last year's One Big Beautiful Bill, Congress eliminated the making and transfer taxes for silencers, short-barreled firearms, and any other weapons. A coalition of plaintiffs, including Gun Owners of America, then brought suit in federal court challenging the continuing constitutionality of a purported tax that is no longer a tax because it raises no revenue. And last week, a Texas federal district court issued its final judgment, finding that the challenged NFA provisions rise and fall on the taxing power. Thus, since Congress invokes the taxing clause, not its power, to regulate interstate commerce, the challenged NFA provisions exceed Congress's enumerated powers. The court permanently enjoined the ATF, Department of Justice, Todd Blanche, Robert Cicada, and all others acting in concert with them from enforcing the challenge provisions of the National Firearms Act as to untaxed firearms against the plaintiffs. Although Judge Hendricks stayed the effectiveness of this order for 7 calendar days, the ending of that is today, the Department of Justice has not appealed that ruling. Thus, it is scheduled to become effective at midnight Central Time, August 13th, 2026. So we actually have 3 hours and 15 minutes. My apologies. At that time, Silencer Shop, a federal firearms licensee, intends to transfer a firearm silencer to Brandon Herrera and a second silencer to Wes Verdal in transactions to occur within the state of Texas. No party intends to complete ATF Form 4 or seek ATF approval for the transfer. So again, they still have to file a 4473 because suppressors are also regulated under another, is it the GCA of 1986?
68, the 86 is the Hughes.
Okay, so 68. So again, the 68. So they still have to file a 4473, but no ATF fingerprints, no registration, no waiting for approval, no Form 4, no e-forms. You can just walk up, buy it, do your paperwork, and walk out the same you would with anything else. Now, again, I have a lot of questions.
I do.
Can I do the same thing? Can I now make my own since I don't have to register it? Much like I can make my own firearm and I don't have to make a 4473. Can I now, if I'm one of these enjoined parties, can I make my own suppressor with no Form 1, Form 4? Right? The same thing with SBRs. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I buy a used one without the 4473 just as I would a regular?
Well, that's true. If you have private transfer, like in South Dakota here, we have private transfers. Can I walk up to somebody else and say, hey, I'll give you $600 for that used RC2 or right, whatever the case might be? Can I do that? That's why I'm still cautious. I don't know if any of these major suppressor manufacturers or distributors are going to be allowing sales like that tonight, right? Because if they were, like, I would just wait till 12:01 and I would hop onto Silencer Shop and I'd be like, hey, I'm a GOA member. I'm, a member of this date. I'm a customer here. I'm a customer there. And, I'm one of the enjoined parties. Can I just buy that and have it shipped to my FFL and I'll transfer it to myself with the 4473, right? Coral Weezer says, yes, you can private transfer them. I just want all of this stuff written out, okay? Because if there's one group of people that I don't trust, it's the government and specifically the ATF, okay? Because I want to know exactly how they're not enforcing it and I want it in writing, okay? I don't want it to be vague. I don't want them to be coming after me or anyone really because somebody thought they could do this one thing, but actually, according to this and that, we can actually enforce it in this roundabout loophole way, right? I want it to be set in stone, very clear, so that everybody knows like the proper way to do that so that nobody gets in trouble, gets their dog shot, and gets sent to prison for 10 years like Dugan Ashley right now, right? No party intends to complete the ATF Form 4 or seek ATF approval of the transfer. Likewise, no party intends to register either the silencer transfer with the ATF and the National Firearms Registration and Transfer Record. Both Mr. Herrera and Mr. Vertel are law-abiding American citizens and Texas residents fully eligible to own and possess firearms under the state and federal law. Mr. Vertel holds a Texas license to carry. Both are members of Gun Owners of America, Inc., and during the transaction, they will be silencer shop customers. Thus, will be covered twice over by the silencer shop injunction. See silencer shop versus BATFE. And again, so if you're a silencer shop customer, you're covered. If you're a GOA member, you're covered. If you're, I think also Palmetto State Armory, and again, I think 15 states, you're also covered. So a lot of us are covered. I'm covered 4 times over. But if you're not one of those people, it doesn't apply to you until it becomes nationwide in a future lawsuit, which will probably happen. These planned transfers will take place on the business premises of blank in full compliance with both state and federal laws as enjoined. This communication serves as notice of our intent to perform these actions. To date, neither ATF nor DOJ has provided any formal guidance with respect to the Texas injunction, nor has ATF or DOJ publicly announced they intend to appeal or to comply with the silencer shop injunction. To that end, we intend to take full advantage of our Second Amendment rights, exercising them in compliance with the court's order. So the ATF can be very annoyed. Now, they did ask, please inform us no later than 5 p.m. Eastern on August 12, 2026, which was about, 4 hours ago now at this point? Otherwise, the very first lawful commercial transfer of a silencer since June 26, 1934, without complying with the NFA's terms, will take place at midnight on August 13th. Sincerely yours, Brandon Herrera, Wesley Vertel, and the CEO of Silencer Shop, Dave Matheny. Based, very good on all around. I am very happy to see it. I do have the same exact questions when it comes to SBRs. So in 3 hours, am I allowed just to put a stock on all of my quote unquote pistols, right? The only pistol I have is ironically the Mark I. So am I allowed to SBR the Mark I tonight? And then I can never send it back to Sons of Liberty Gunworks? That's funny, right? I wouldn't do that. But the option is there. Sorry, what?
You can, even if you do SBR it, you can transfer it now.
Well, no, I mean they're an FFL SOT 0702, so they can do whatever they want. I could send them a bomb if I wanted to. Not that I would, okay, but I'm not sure if they have their FEL. They might have their FEL, but probably not. If they had an FEL, I could send them a bomb, but fair enough.
Calm down.
Yeah, so good on everyone for all of this. I'm very glad to hear, again, unless there's some crazy update in the next 3 hours that they electronically appealed it, to meet the technical legal deadline of midnight, which I don't think is going to happen at this point in time. Send them an EMP. That's true. Actually, is an EMP a destructive device, or is that? But a destructive device or weapon of mass destruction, because I think technically they're different.
I think it's just a DD.
Okay, fair enough.
I could be wrong.
Wubba Bubba asks, where is the list of states that are part of the injunction? GOA doesn't show which ones were part of the lawsuit. I thought they did on their website. Let me pull it up real fast. Gun Owners of America. I know South Dakota's in there, which is where I'm at. And I'm also a GOA member. And then I'm also a silencer shop customer. And I'm also a Palmetto State Armory customer. At least I was. So I should be covered 4 times over, theoretically. But I believe there were 15 states. Winner case, national alerts. Is it here? Let's see here. Okay. Again, nearly 100 years since the last time. So, okay, here it is. Although I don't see the list of the 15 states, although it does say 15 states. So a huge thank you to our partners and co-plaintiffs who made this victory possible. Silencer Shop Foundation, Palmetto State Armory, Silencer Co., BNT, FRAC, and the 15 pro-gun states who also signed on. So I believe all of those people are part of the injunction. Now, which 15 states are they exactly? I thought it said in a previous article. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Is it this one? Let's see. Here we go. So here, it says right here. Alaska, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Montana, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, and Wyoming. So that is the people who brought the lawsuit. So I believe those are the people who have injunctive relief. I could be wrong about that. I could be misinterpreting that, but I believe since those are the people that brought the lawsuit, those are the people that are protected. Right? Does that make sense? Am I correct? Am I crazy about that? Alex Hutton says no Arizona WTF. Well, Alex, if you're a Silencer Shop customer, if you're a Palmetto State Armory customer, if you are a GOA member, past or future, so you can still sign up, it's $25. You're still covered under the lawsuit, as far as I'm aware. Let's see. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that, Mr. Blackathorn. That's such a funny name. Ohio junk, Kansas baby. True. John, there's a Jew in chat. Oh, well, there's 1,300 people here. Okay, this is a big topic. People are very excited about the end of the NFA for most of us, right? Now, as most other people have theorized, have stated, while this is not everyone, this is most everyone. And in the future, this will absolutely be used for a nationwide injunction on the NFA to make it to where nationwide you can have suppressors and SBRs. Now, with the exception of blue states that write their own state laws about suppressors and other NFA items, right? So California, Hawaii, New York, New Jersey, all of the terrible blue states that you guys know and hate, it's not going to do anything for you. I apologize. This is only on the federal level, right? It's going to, for the Midwest and for some other states that are still reasonable, it's going to be a huge win and it will eventually cover all of you. But just like your gun laws are now, if you live in a blue state and it's hyper restrictive, there's going to either write new legislation to sweep up suppressors and other NFA items. Like, for instance, it is possible that certain states right now where you can buy suppressors and can buy SBRs under the NFA, that states will write more restrictive legislation than what is currently on in the NFA, right? So with the NFA, you can buy them, but they have to be registered. You have to go through the paperwork, the fingerprints, yada, yada, yada. However, it is, again, very possible that blue states will actually write something more restrictive than the NFA, outright banning suppressors, outright banning any weapon with a barrel shorter than 10 inches that accepts a detachable magazine not in the grip, or something like that, right? So it is very possible that blue states will be screwed over even harder than they currently have, right? However, for the rest of us, I do apologize to everyone else who is not part of this, but we do have it counting down 3 hours, 5 minutes until Brandon Herrera is the first person. And honestly, the other guy too. I do feel kind of bad that the other guy just gets, nobody cares about Wes Bertle here. He kind of gets forgotten a little bit. Let me pull him up here. Okay. He is also a Texas state rep. Okay, good on him. I didn't even know that because, again, I'm not from Texas. I don't follow these guys. I just know Brandon because he's, of course, in the firearm sphere. Wes Bertle, Texas state rep. So 2 Texas state reps will be the first people in over 90 years, almost a century, to transfer a suppressor without the NFA restrictions, without appealing to the ATF for their rights back in 3 hours and 5 minutes. Pretty good. Heck yeah. 2 hours. No, I think it's Central Time. It's only 8:56 here. So we got 3 hours and 5 minutes. 3 hours and 5 minutes until they get their transfer done. No, I'm not staying live until they actually sign the physical paperwork. Okay, that's just not going to happen. All right, gentlemen, let's get to some of your questions. Randy Reviews It says, can we do personal sales of suppressors now then? That is a good question. And I think that the chat is on your side. The chat is happy. Right. The chat is optimistic about private sales of suppressors and SBRs and individual creation of suppressors and SBRs. I personally would feel more comfortable having all of this stuff in writing, right? You don't want to be the first person, which is why I'm happy to let Brandon and the other Texas state rep, take the hit, so to speak. You guys be the first one through, and then we'll follow. Okay, we'll see how it works out for you guys first. All right. Let's get to some of your guys' comments on this real fast. Let's see. Where is it? We got to scroll down a little bit. Setting something. Rubicant for $20. Thank you very much. There says, I'm in Ohio, and since this ruling, the state law considers suppressors as dangerous ordinance and thus cannot be transferred unless registered with the NFA. There's a bill on the floor to remove them from the list. All right. So Rubicant, that is interesting. And you are in one of those weird states where they are going to have to do something either pro or against to allow you to actually transfer suppressors, because again, they were covered under the NFA. Now that they're not under the NFA, they are restricted in this special way for that special state, right? So I hope that you guys get a good ruling in Ohio. I'm not sure how well that's going to work out for you, because aren't you guys you're about to either get Vivek or Amy Acton, right? That's Ohio. And I think Amy is ahead right now. So you're about to have a blue governor. So good luck with that. I mean, literally best of luck to everyone out there who is going to be dealing with even more of a headache now that the NFA is going away, at least in part in their state. And now they have to deal with this other garbage. Thank you very much for the $20, Rubicant. That is incredibly generous of you. Let's see, what is a proper one for this? Oh, here we go.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
It's true. I apologize for not understanding your specific complaint. And I know it's going to be different for different people, okay? Cody Fisher says Ohio is actually on the verge of total death. It might be. Washington will be screwed. I agree. I'm glad that I moved out of there. 15 states have this issue, says Glyphic. Yeah, it's going to be a weird case-by-case basis. All right. Now, actually, you know what's funny is I did sign up for GOA. I was not a member of GOA before today, and their website was slow AF. So I guarantee you, to the victor, the spoils, by the way. They absolutely deserve it. But I hope they get 10,000 new members, 100,000 new members. Good on them. Okay. They put in the work. They put in the money, the time, the effort. Good on them for getting it done. Subarctic Psycho, 3D printed suppressors might be ordinance, LMAO. Well, that's the interesting thing, right? If I buy a 3D printer, I'm in South Dakota, right? Nobody cares. If I'm allowed to create these on my own, can I just 3D print as many suppressors as I want for personal use, right? As long as I'm not making them to sell like a manufacturer where I would need a license. As long as I'm just making them for personal use, can't I just print as many carbon fiber 3D printed suppressors as I want, right?
Disposable
Surely.
cans.
Well, I mean, they're not even that disposable, right? For 9 mil or 22, you can get like 500 or 1,000 rounds out of some of those cans, you know? Which is like, it's not bad for like $6, you know,
Well, I'm saying
after you
disposable
factor.
in that you just shoot the shit out of it, and then after it's dirty or starting to warp, you just toss it and print another.
Yeah, 100%. What a vibe, boys. True. Project Cav says, honest question, how the F does a state law hold more weight than a federal law? Well, it's hierarchy, right? So the federal law operates differently than your state law. Once the federal law is removed, then the state law can overturn that or trumps that, essentially, right? So right now, a lot of states are under the NFA, right? And they're relying on the NFA rules, those laws. But once those are removed, they're just then going to create their own. So it's not like they're trumping the federal laws, but once those restrictions are removed, they'll just make their own, right? So it's more like a replacement, not like holding more weight. And yes, states do have the abilities to write their own laws that can be, in some cases, more lenient and in some cases a lot more aggressive, right? It's kind of whatever the DOJ allows them to get away with.
Yeah, that's what's outlined in the 10th Amendment. It's basically the federal supremacy clause and the 10th Amendment battling it out to see who's the victor.
Correct. Well, it's like, do you guys remember years and years ago, I think Texas, Montana, and even South Dakota for a little while, they tried to pass a law where if you transfer a suppressor inside the state, you don't need to go through the NFA. And then the federal government was like, no, we're not going to allow that to stand. So
yeah, and then they
states have tried to move around federal regulations before. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not. You know, it's like, what are they allowed to get away with, essentially? Girth Brooks says, suppressor price dropping dramatically. No. No. If you tomorrow create a 10x demand for suppressors, the supply is not magically going to catch up. Like, new manufacturers aren't just immediately going to come online. There's going to be a lag of like 6 months to 6 years, right? So prices at best are going to stabilize at best. I don't think they're going to go lower unless we're talking about certain like new manufacturers entering the market, right? Like, think about it. If let's just take Cat for an example. If you're selling an $800 to $1,000 can, tomorrow, your demand doubles Why in the world would you lower your price when you can't even meet the demand that is out there? Like, why would you just choose to make less money per product when they're selling out regardless, right? Now, the used market, maybe there will be some used market that will help alleviate the demand, but even that, I think the used market is going to be a lot smaller than people think. Trannington, man, that's a bad name, Trannington. That's tragic. You are also Californian, Trannington, so maybe it checks out. My Bora in California begging for this to apply. The Cali DOJ will never let this fly, and it won't matter at all. Yes, Cali already has way more restrictive laws than what's in the federal legislation, right? So in that respect, yeah, it won't matter for California at all. I apologize that you are behind in terms of enemy lines and whatnot. Never going to help you unless you magically, revert to 1940s demographics for your state. My apologies. Thank you very much for the $10. DLD After Dark says, in Nova, Sterling Arsenal is 100% down. Well, see, that's the thing. I think certain gun shops are going to be more ahead of the curve than others, right? So do I think that your local boomer shop, if you walk in tomorrow and you're like, I'm a GOA member, sell me this suppressor without any NFA paperwork, if they're going to be like, what are you talking about, Sonny? That's illegal. You're going to have to sign up for the NFA and give me your fingerprints, son. It's like, it's going to be months, right? The ATF is going to have to give direction to all FFLs on how to proceed with these enjoined members, right? Whether they're GOA, Palmetto State Armory, Silencer Shop, BNT, all the ones that are mentioned, of course. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. There's going to be a lag period. There's going to be a ton of people running in. Like my local shops tomorrow, I'm sure are going to be flooded with a million stupid questions and people trying to legitimately buy suppressors without going through the NFA. And I don't even like some FFLs might just be scared and they're like, we're going to wait. We're not going to sell any suppressors without going through the NFA system until we get direct instructions from the ATF because we don't want to lose our license. This is our business. So we're going to take the cautious approach. That is absolutely possible. South Dakota gang, Truk, absolutely. Let's see. Closif, NFA, LGS is eerily silent about what they will do tomorrow. I think a lot of them will be, absolutely. Deer Hunter for 5 says, I've got an OCM 6 sitting at my local gun store. Know the owner personally. Looking forward to going in tomorrow and seeing what he wants to do. See, that's based. If you have a based local gun store that is also waiting for the news and they're just going to, sign it out to you on a 4473, that's based. And if you might as well wait, there's no reason on going through NFA paperwork for no reason, right? Thank you, Deer Hunter. Congratulations. I hope you get that tomorrow. Benjamin McKinnon says, buy a 400K 3D printer for personal use. That is funny. Yes. Listen, honey, it's just a personal expense. Okay. Don't worry about it. That's very flexy if you can do that. I'm scrolling through here for more questions from you guys, of course. Iron Corsair, if there's no federal rule, it falls to the states. This doesn't rewrite the law, it just kills the federal version. That is correct. As far as I understand it, I'm not a lawyer. I'm retarded. All right. Let's see. The average person still thinks silencers literally silence weapons. I think regular people will unfortunately not be on our side when it comes down to it. I don't think the average people care. I don't think the average people are following this. I think we're following this. I think we're making, waves in the gun industry. I don't think that normies care at all. Napa supremacy. Well, again, Form 1 suppressors, every oil filter out there is a 22 can in the making, okay? Let's see. Everyone in there and their brother are going to start making DIY cheap cans. I think you will, again, in 2026 SHOT Show, we saw 200 new suppressor manufacturers. In 2027, I guarantee you, we will see another 200 new suppressor manufacturers. I guarantee you it. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. There are going to be so many brands, you're not going to be able to keep up with it all, okay? There's going to be so many reviews on suppressors and whatnot. It's going to be amazing, all right? Let's see here. So if this goes through, it will. Who specifically can go buy a suppressor over the counter with just a 4473? So you have to be one of the enjoined parties. You need to be a GOA member, which actually, you know what? Again, to the victor go the spoils. I'm just going to drop the gun owners link in the YouTube chat, in the Rumble chat, in the Kick chat for everybody hanging out. If you want to be covered, you got to go give them $25 and then you're covered. So you need to be a GOA member. You need to be a member of 15 states that we already covered, which is a lot of them. You need to be a Silencer Shop member or a customer, Palmetto State Armory customer, B&T, and I know I'm missing one of the big ones, but there's a lot of enjoined parties. All right. Let's see. Tuna Cans will start paying their customers to take their products. That's funny. They're so cheap. Used RC2 market. Yes, possibly. Pyro Maniac Bro for 5 says, because we do the gun buyback scheme of I have 94 of these cheaply made suppressors, but just give them away as proof of concept for the transfers. Well, see, that's up to the ATF's discretion as to whether or not you're operating as a business without a license, right? So operating as an FFL without a license is a crime, and it's so vaguely worded, right? Like if I sell 10 guns in a year, I buy them, I make a video on them, I shoot them, I drop them, I get rid of them. And it's like, is that good? Am I an FFL now operating without a license? Is that a crime? I have no idea. It's up to the ATF's discretion, which does suck. But thank you for that. So I'm not sure. In your case, if you bought a bunch and gave them away, like, does that count? Or sorry, if you make a bunch and give them away, does that count as operating? I don't know. I do not know how that works. Let's see. 441 DL says, if suppressors were tossed off the NFA, what federal law would make them any different than a muzzle brake? Not federally. No, it'd be down to states' laws. It would be down to states' laws as far as that goes. All right. Chris Madding for $20 says, I bought a can and it shipped to my FFL and has been sitting there for 2 weeks. I'm lazy and haven't submitted it to the ATF yet on the Silencer Shop app. I wonder if I can get it in this week in Texas through a 4473. Almost certainly, Chris. If your FFL is paying attention, if they know what they're doing, and if Brandon Herrera and the other Texas representative do it without a catch, then you're kosher. You're good to go, bro. It's probably going to happen. And honestly, that way there, you don't have to do any of the stupid paperwork. You just sign your 4473 and get out of there, right? Thank you, Chris Madding. I appreciate that, good sir. Now, what's interesting is in South Dakota, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have an enhanced pistol carry permit, right, which is like $100 here, you don't need it. It's constitutional carry. But if you have one, you don't even need to sign a 4473 in the state because that technically counts as your 4473. So for me, if I got that enhanced pistol carry license, whatever it's called, like it's a gold membership or something like that, I could technically do that with suppressors without even a background check, without even a 4473. Or maybe it's separate because it's different than pistols or handguns or rifles. I don't know. Let's see. O'Reilly's very true. Project Cav says we got suppressor scalpers before GTA 6. Lost Arrow says, I'm wondering if gun stores will change their NFA transfer prices to just regular transfer pricing. My LGS wants $150 for a transferred can. Yeah, so my local gun stores do the same thing. For normal items, it's $35. For NFA items, it's $100 per transfer. So anytime I get a suppressor sent in, for free from a company or something like that, I do the $100 transfer fee. So it can be quite expensive. So honestly, companies might, like local gun stores, FFLs, are probably going to keep the NFA transfer very high to make money off of it, right? Because if they have 1 million transfers to do now, well, that's just more work for them. So why wouldn't they want to make some money off of it, right? If I'm the FFL and if I'm like, I have 3 employees just doing NFA paperwork all day or, suppressor paperwork or SBR paperwork, whatever it might be, like, why don't I just keep the prices a little higher? Maybe not $150. That's insane. But if I'm trying to make money and support my staff and, my establishment, like, yeah, I'll be $75 for suppressors, $35 for regular firearms, right? Just to make some extra cash off of it, right? The local gun store I was at today had nothing to say about any of this when I asked. I think a lot of them will not have anything to say, unfortunately. Unfortunately, most of them will wait for FFL guidance, ATF guidance. It says Rep Andrew Clyde's latest X post. Let me pull that up real fast for you. Andrew Clyde.
Basically, he spoke to the Trump admin, and they're stating that they're not going to try to appeal.
Okay, this is from 11 minutes ago. Breaking, I've received confirmation from the Trump administration that the DOJ will not appeal our historic court victory against the NFA. Thank you, President Trump and Attorney General Blanche, for delivering the most significant Second Amendment win in over 90 years. There it is. It's confirmed. No EMP necessary. I mean, it's pretty much we didn't need it. It only has 3 hours left to go, less than 3 hours left to go. But heck yeah, there it is. Honestly, you know, Trump has had some really bad steps, some really bad missteps when it comes to the Second Amendment. But you got to admit, suppressors and SBRs being essentially removed from the NFA for the majority of cool Americans, like, unironically pretty good, right? He might suck on everything else and, you know, the Epstein stuff and Iran and Israel and selling your country and H-1Bs and everything else might just be horrifying. The price at the grocery store, the price at the pump, everything else might be a horrifying hellscape, and America is just going to be gone as we know it in the next 20 years. But hey, for the collapse, we have suppressors and SBRs. Like, isn't that a win? Okay, if we're going to have the collapse one way or the other, at least we have suppressors and SBRs now, right? You know, at least we can have a little bit more fun while we're on our way down. Return of the King much. Absolute Moon Man for $200 says, hello, Pores. I don't care what you were talking about. Tell me everything that happened since my last super chat. Well, that is a lot, Moon Man. For $200 though, I mean, let's go round it up a little bit. Some gay stuff happened in the firearms industry for sure. Retards started saying like really retarded stuff. We covered gay dudes battling it out. 2011 owners. That happened a lot, actually. A lot of 2011 drama in the space for sure. Manufacturers being cringe. Sons of Liberty Gunworks Mark I. Manufacturers battling it out. Duke and Ashley got arrested. That wasn't fun. That's been awful. Yeah. It's been a lot. All right, man. All right. But thank you. $200 is absolutely insane for that. You can, I don't know, dealer's choice here. We'll give you Jake's favorite.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
Bro, I'm so excited to jump scare 1,400 people.
Gee, Patrick, do you think Squidward was trying to tell us something?
Thank you very much, Moon Man. That is incredibly based of you. You know what's funny, Moon Man, is people were theorizing that ever since USAID got cut, you kind of disappeared. So our local Fed, our local our local glow boy disappeared once USAID got cut. It's just interesting. It's just, you know, people been theorizing. That's all I'm saying. All right, Moon Man. Jeez. But I hope you're doing well, good sir. Okay. I hope your Fed plans have been all coming together. That's hello. I'm glad you can finally afford food again. True. John New Island for 5 says, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put an effing stock on it. Well, listen, guys, like you got 3 hours. This isn't legal advice, but I mean, if you put the stock on now, like, would anyone know? This is just hypothetical, of course. Would anyone know if you put the stock on now versus in 2 hours from now, right? You know, if you go onto your computer and you set your time zone to Britain, like you're covered, right? That's a little loophole in there, right? I mean, you can just put the stock on. What are they going to do? Arrest? They got 2 hours to arrest you, bro. Right? I mean, I'm just saying. Bungalow 410 says 15 states have cover your ass laws. Georgia says cans, SBRs, SBS, AOWs are only legal so long as they are legal federally and registered in the NFA, not regulated federally equals illegal at state level by proxy. So that's an interesting one. And again, it's going to be a state by state basis. So I don't know all of your individual state laws. I live in South Dakota. That's the one that I know the most about and care about the most, obviously, because it's me, right? For everyone else, though, check your local state regs. And some of you guys are going to need to, you know, push your House and your Senate in your state to push legislation to actually allow you to have suppressors and SBRs and AOWs and all of the other fun stuff, right? So some of you guys are going to have to do some legwork, just the way it is. Thank you, Bungalow. Appreciate that, good sir. Mode Push says, are Temu solvent traps legal now? No, because they still have to go through a 4473. It's like the same thing if you bought a firearm off of Temu and had it shipped to your door. It's still not legal because you did not go through a 4473, which you need to do with firearms, right? So, and it's obviously Temu. I don't think Temu is an FFL. That would be quite funny if they were, but I don't think they're an FFL. Since Speasley says we need a final solution to the unconstitutional laws question. Truk? Very true. Let's see. I'm going to do it too. Yes, you are, of course. Free Kill for 5 says, I'm excited for the race to the bottom of cheap cans. Well, have you guys seen that one suppressor company that just put out absolute garbage for like $199? I think Griffin Armament did a section on it. Let me pull it up for you guys because it's funny. Now, I can't play the video for you, unfortunately, but you guys can kind of see it there. That is a Advantage Arms 1.75 by 2.5 inch suppressor. They retail for like $199. I think I've seen them on AR-15 discounts. They're really bad. They're awful garbage. They don't even do what they're supposed to do. I think they tested them and they were like way below what they were supposed to do. But this is a super shorty made in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. They say 150 decibels. When Austin of Griffin Armament tested it, they were at like 160, 170, which is louder than a 22 pistol. Literally does nothing. Waste of $250. Absolute waste. Do not buy. But there will be cheap garbage suppressors coming out. I guarantee it, good sir. There will be bad ones. Many, many, many bad ones. All right. 94 toilet paper rolls. Something like that. Okay. Make it hard to understand. 1,400 viewers. Liberty lives in 1776 for $20. Thank you very much, sir. Says, be gracious to your local mom and pop FFLs. Still effed in MD for SBRs due to state law, but cans might be good to go as SBRs are explicit to NFA regulations per state law. Oddly, suppressors are not. Still bought goals for the good fight, or GOA, sorry, for the good fight. Absolutely. They deserve the $25 that it is or more. Honestly, they're the ones who fought for it, plus the other organizations that are in there as well. SBRs, that does kind of suck because I like SBRs a lot. Pistols are still chill though, and pistol braces still have a purpose for right now because they are basically just stocks, like let's be real. But having, suppressors with no federal background checks or no, NFA process, paperwork, nonsense, registration, very cool. Very glad to see it. Yeah. You might need to do some work in walking through your local gun store, like literally. Although, what's funny is I know some of you nerds are going to do this, okay? You're going to walk into your local gun store. You're going to slap some money on the counter, demand to have that can without the NFA paperwork. And they're going to look at you like, you're an alien. They're going to be like, what is this thing doing in my local gun store? And you're going to be like, no, see, look at this tweet. No, look at this tweet. This is Representative Andrew, and he says that Trump is not going to appeal it. So give it to me now. See, this is a tweet from GOA, which is a gun rights organization. You know what that is, right? And they said I could have this without being on the NFA. Please give it to me now. And they're going to look at you like you're retarded. And it's they're that retarded, and they should probably be paying attention to it. But you know how it goes. All right. Thank you. Liberty lives in 1776. Incredibly based of you, good sir.
Shut the fuck up, man.
That is actually, that Ben clip is exactly what so many local gun stores are going to say tomorrow. Just
Shut
this.
the fuck up, man.
So true. Thank you. Liberty lives in 1776. Joe Salazar for 10 says, GOA just reposted on X that Trump admin official states that DOJ will not appeal the ruling. We did take a look at that. Thank you, Joe Salazar. Much appreciated for the 10. Thank you. Rubicant for 10 says Representative Andrew Clyde spoke to the Trump admin, posted on X, and they told Andrew that there will be no appeal. Yes, I apologize. I'm way behind on chat because there's still 1,350 of you on YouTube alone. And so I'm way behind on chat right now. But thank you for that, Rubicant. I appreciate it. I will get to them all. I promise you. Save me, Donald Trump. Again, let's be clear. This is a win for Donald Trump and the DOJ and the ATF in terms of this. Everything else is still horrifying. Okay, everything else is still terrible. This is good though. Okay, take the win, but understand that everything else is still terrible. All right. Damn, yeesh. GOA website is crashing for me. I am glad that I got my membership earlier and didn't wait. Because after this announcement, it is going to be insane. I am sure for the next couple of days, they're going to get a ton of money, which is good. Good for them. Heck yeah. These DIY cans might be the ticket now. Well, now you can just manufacture your own cans, right? Although I guess it kind of falls under the same like P80 rules where basically all of the P80, companies got shut down. So I'm not sure if this will really have a boon of like Form 1 suppressor kits, but making your own suppressors is pretty easy, right? Mountain Tactics repeats it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Local gun stores $150 for transfers. That sucks. Zion Dawn with a W. So yes, that's the ticket. Zion Dawn did win in this area. Okay. Let's all right. Still scrolling through. There's still so many of this. Moonman says gay as in lame or gay as in Logan sucks at shooting. Both. Things can be both. Okay. It doesn't have to have a single meaning here. Do the hop ones. The hop ones are funny for true. Chocolate Queen. Mace Falk 45 says, how will this work for Form 1 suppressors and SBRs? Well, since they're off of the NFA and there's no paperwork required, I think you can just turn your pistols into SBRs and your rifles into SBRs. I think the same goes with shotguns, right? You can in 2.5 hours, you can just, cut off, do an old Randy Weaver, and cut the barrel of your shotgun. I think, right? I think you can do that in 2.5 hours. It's possible. I'm not recommending that you do that or giving you legal advice, but I think that is a possibility. Thank you, Mace Falk. Lost Arrow for 10 says Bazinga. All right. Pop culture reference. I get that one. Thank you very much. Here's another one for you.
Could the world's greatest guy could do this? And this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
Thank you. Moonman, member for 13 months. Aw, what a healthy, burgeoning relationship we have. Says, let me get that. Let me get that. What? You want to hop yelling? I
don't understand.
Care? No, again, I don't fucking care, brother. Come on.
Okay,
I don't
great,
fucking care.
But
What's good about this optic?
Moonman for 5 says, let me get that big toe money. It's my big toe money and I want it now. Well, listen, I mean, for $200, you can get a couple big toe monies. Okay, bro? Actually, you probably haven't seen this one. Taser face.
I did want me taser.
That's a good. Oops. Hello?
Everybody laughing, but he still broke when that shoelace tight. He don't fall. It's on. I got Super Saiyan, big toe game. I'm not playing. I'm like Goku. Dragon Ball's about to come all over these balls. It's on. I got Super Saiyan, big toe game. I'm not playing. I'm like Goku. Dragon Ball's about to come all over these balls.
That's right. Let's go. I like that one. That one's good. It's more vibey, it's not quite as big toe money in terms of like what it's actually about, but it's definitely vibey. Flauta for 5 says, can recommendations. I was already eyeing the Polonium K. Any reason I shouldn't? Any better options? What's funny is that after talking with Andrew of Otter Creek Labs, you should just get the Canic, what do they call it? The Shroud or the Void? Because it's just a polonium with lower back pressure. So I know it's called a Canic. It's made by Otter Creek Labs, right? Canic pays Otter Creek Labs to make that for them. I think it's the Canic Void. It's just a Polonium K that's a little bit more expensive with lower back pressure. So for me, I like low back pressure. I like not getting gassed out when I shoot. I like not having to tune my systems as much. I would just go with the Canic Void. It's made by Otter Creek Labs. It's the same exact can, albeit lower back pressure, a little different design philosophy. So that's what I would go with. And honestly, they're probably going to be easier to find in stock because it has the Canic name attached to it, which is ironically funny, right? It's like, ew, Canic. I'm going to go with the Polonium. It's like it's made by the same person. It's funny. All right. Scrolling down to the bottom, there is so much chat here. Deer Hunter for 5 says, for building your own can, would the outer sleeve be the serialized portion of the firearm, meaning you could buy the internals without a 4473? Well, I mean, pipe is pipe. Like, if we're making our own cans, you don't need to do anything. The same thing like making your own firearm. You don't need to file anything. Now, if somebody was selling you, I don't know why somebody would sell you a registered tube. You know, it's like those shops that sell you really specifically threaded tubes. You know, they just sell you a 1.5 with a 1.375 by 24 inner diameter threading. It's like, it's crazy. It's so weird that they sell me this 5.5 inch 17-4 tube with this internal threading. That's crazy that they do that. You know, you can do basically anything you want. Yeah, if you're making your own, you don't need it serialized at all because you're making your own. Just like with a firearm, you're making your own thing. Okay, Canic Floyd, not quite. All right. Well, we're kind of caught up here. I appreciate. T-Man Gibbs says, "Do you know who else likes lower back pressure? The staccato guy." Aww. Well, since we're an hour and a half in, we'll just get to everybody's support now. We're all caught up with the chat. Thank you, T-Man Gibbs. That's very funny. All right, back to the beginning. Handsome Horse for $20 says, Big Toe Money Hump Day Edition. Rest in peace, the NFA. Hopefully. Free Dugan, Christ is King. Hey, you get the original Big Toe Money. Thank you, Handsome Horse. Very based of you. Christ is King.
Money, this is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, Jake Money, Big Toe Money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good. Your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Jake Money, Big Toe Money. That's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody's.
There you go. Discord link is in the chat. One of our great mods, Lost Arrow, is dropping the Discord link. If you can't figure out how to get into the Discord, you're not built for it. Thank you, Handsome Horse. T-Man Gibbs says late because he's in the hot tub with Brandon Herrera. Well, listen, okay? Brandon is going to go out there and he's going to be real brave in 2.5 hours, and he's going to sign over the first suppressor transfer in 92 years without the NFA. So good luck to him. Thank you, T-Man Gibbs. What, you wouldn't get in the hot tub with him either? Prude. T-Man Gibbs for 5 says Brandon better be careful before Trump deports him back to his homeland in Nicaragua. That's funny. No, he's I forget what Brandon is. He's some weird mix of
Lebanese.
peoples, you know. Was that?
He's Lebanese.
Yeah, Lebanese and like, you know, Southern heritage, which I find a very funny funny history. But hey, listen, okay, he's our brown, okay? You know what? He's our brown, my nigga, some would say. Okay, thank you, T-Man Gibbs. Frank Castle for 5 says, I pulled out of Gorlock the Destroyer to watch this. Well, spoiler alert, that's a dude, so there's no reason to pull out. Sorry, Frank Castle. That's a gross sentence. I'm right, boy. Remember for 9 months says late and not in the good way. What's the good way to be late? What's the good way to be late? All right. Thank you, Amrai boy. Chudge Holden. What?
That's Garantham's mistress.
Yeah, he's very happy when they're late. Chudge Holden for 10 jewels, gold coin. All right. Matthew for 67 jewels says 6-7. Boogie Down Syndrome, remember for 7 months, says, I believe you forgot the EMP. I didn't need it. I called it off last minute. No EMP needed. We got it done without. All right, it worked out. Thank you, Boogie. Bamani Igloo for 10 jewels is hiding. All right. CM Scar for 2 says, love you, Wichod. Aw. He loves you, Wichod. You got to say it back now. Otherwise, he'd be sad.
Love you too.
Aw. Chudge Holden for 2 says, Richard Pearbear. Hey, he's been the Pear Bear this entire time. Mass Mark for 5 says, super chat for Richard. I'm so sorry about your loss. They really do love us for life. All of it. My condolences.
Thanks, brother. That really means a lot.
Thank you, Mass Mark. White Power Ranger, my favorite Ranger, by the way. Dry Fire, that 2011 doesn't make you better. Yes, exactly. Putting in the work does. Thank you, White Power Ranger. Iron Within for 5 says, Shooter's Choice was my local gun store for years. Staccato told me the warranty and subscription were separate. All of this has been blown way out of proportion. I agree that it definitely got blown out of proportion, and I don't know if Shooter's Choice was intentionally lying or whether they just got things wrong. I still have issues with Staccato's response. I still have issues with their warranty in general, and the fact that they're kicking out like a bunch of dealers. That doesn't make sense to me. But yes, I do believe that it was misreported by Shooter's Connection, and then everybody ran with it, including me, right? So it's right to correct the record in that way. Thank you, Iron Within. T-Man Gibbs for 5 says, I met that Staccato guy in the Flying J truck stop. Third stall, best glory hole in town. Don't ask why I was there. Well, I want to know if you were giving or receiving in that, because that changes the relationship of that meeting. Thank you, T-Man Gibbs. He's getting around. Okay, he's in with Brandon Herrera. He's in with the Staccato guy. Iron Within for 2 says, I have a Nighthawk and a Staccato. Win-win. Well, dude, this is a dentist. We got a certified dentist here. You're buying Nighthawks and Staccatos, bro. Thank you, Iron Within. Amorite Boy for 5 says, in a world full of cowards, corruption, and sin, do not lose faith and stay prepared. 1 Peter 1:6-7. No one? Just me? All right, fine. I'll just kill myself. It's fine. I'm not upset. In all this, you will greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. He's making me do a lot of reading today. Okay, fine. Galatians 6:9. Dude, are we trying to be funny here? Am I missing something? Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And then Isaiah 6:8. I feel like he's trying to be funny here. Maybe I'm being a little too cynical here, but I feel like he's trying to be funny with me. All right. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And I said, here I am, send me. Thank you very much, Amrite Boy. That was a nice little white pill in the middle of our stream here. 581 Deform for 5 says, is the Rock Island TC22 still a thing? Well, Richard, what do you think about TC22s?
Yeah, I would say absolutely not.
Well, you're the one who had them blow up on you, right?
Yeah. The TCM and TCM9R both. Yeah, it's not good.
Right.
And then YouTube took the video down that I made of it.
Well, I've shot 22 TCM. It's a fireball. It feels like shooting a 5.7 for lack of a better term, even though it's a little more powerful than 5.7, I think, because it's going faster. But yeah, very weird firearm, very weird like purpose. It's interesting. It's novel. I wouldn't recommend it for anything, but it's like, okay, it's something. Thank you, 581 Deform. Lightsport for 2 says, you're sending Sons of Liberty Gunworks a bomb? I got to check if they have an FEL first. Then we'll decide whether we're sending them a bomb. All right. Dr. Squirrel for 5 says, as far as I know, states only join on behalf of their state officials, cops, not citizens. Just be a GOA member to be safe. State laws also still apply. Yes. State laws are going to be crazy. I'm already a GOA member. I'm already a Silencer Shop customer. That's where I had most of my suppressors transferred from when I was in Washington State. Back when they could even do that, right? Like 5-6 years ago at this point. Yeah, so there's multiple ways to be covered. Just make sure you're covered and you're good to go. Dillweed, member for 3 months, says, is it still Halo Master Chief Collection for Friday? Yes. Friday night is Master Chief Collection. That's the plan. We'll probably switch up games eventually, but for a while, since we can fill up a full like 16, 32 player lobby, we'll just play Master Chief Collection. Thank you, Dillweed. CTC Gaming for 2 says, what about Missouri? I didn't see if they were on the list, and I don't want to go back and try and find it. So, yeah. Actually, since I see it right here, no, Missouri is not on that list. I apologize, CTC Gaming. Sam Toaster for 67 joules says 6-7. Appreciate that. Let's see. I got that one. 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 Art Vandalite for 10 joules says press F. All right, fine. Bastion of Cash for 2 says, damn, I just got a PX4 from my local gun store for $2,600. Oh, okay. You're talking about, I thought you were talking about PX4 Storm, like the Beretta thing. I'm like, how did you spend that much money on one of those? No, you're talking about a Staccato P4X. $2,600 is really cheap for that. I thought those were like 3,500 MSRP. So if you got one for 26, it's a good price. Thank you, Bastian Cash. Hope you have fun with it. Deer Hunter for 5 says, I'm more meant if I designed the internals of a can and sent it out to a machine shop, I wonder the legality of that. Well, considering it's not on the NFA anymore, so it's not suppressor parts, like, does this mean wipes are now good to go? Because wipes used to be considered suppressor parts, right? So you couldn't just buy them. But now, since they're not, you can just buy them, right? Or make them. With wipes, it'd be the same thing with wipes. Because they're no longer suppressor parts, right? Am I crazy?
I mean, yes, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you, Deer Hunter. Well, I'm just saying if internals are no longer suppressor parts, then wipes are no longer suppressor parts. So you should be able to do whatever you want with them, right? It's like a BCG. Like it's part of a firearm, but it's not a firearm. So anybody can make one. Anyone can sell one. Anyone can buy one, right? Bojangles for 5 says, I'm about to make the water bottle and sponge special. The wacky suppressors that are about to be foisted upon our eyeballs without our consent is going to be hilarious. Thank you, Bojangles. Absolute Moonman for 2 says, iron without? Iron without? Iron within, all right? There's going to be a war in the chat between those two. Listen, Jack for 5 says, with the NFA gone, Moonman will be left without a job, rather black-coated. Here's the thing, guys. Feds were not arresting blacks for running around with switches. They don't care if blacks have suppressors or SBRs, dude. They've never cared. I don't care if blacks have SBRs, dude. They don't put a stock on their stuff anyways. They don't shoulder the thing. Like, it's not going to make them any more or less effective, okay? The feds were never going after them. Never, ever. It never happens, bro. Viva la Pure for 440 joules says, Unk alert. Very true. Thank you. Boone Wolf for 10 says, hiding. For another 10 says, happy poop. Iron Within for 2 says, logging off. Math, man, making me read. Unbelievable, dude. I was not homeschooled for this. 2819. Are you kidding me? I hate it when it does that. I typed it in perfectly. What is your problem? Matthew, 28, 19, and 20. All right. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you, and surely I am with you to the very end of the age. Thank you, Iron Within. Very based. And Wholesome Pill. Boone Wolf for another 10 joules says, happy poop. I hope many good poops have been had in the chat today. Carver for 2 says, Jake's 210, opened up the vault, big toe full of honey. Thank you. Viva La Pew for 5 says, so will my local AutoZone be out of oil filters tomorrow? No, I doubt it. Because oil filters, it's a novelty, right? It's something funny that we're going to do because we think it's cool. It's like, haha, look at me. I have an oil filter suppressor. Normies aren't going to do it, though, right? Normies don't care. They don't know. I'm sure, there'll be a few 100,000 extra oil filters sold across the nation. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not like there's going to be a run on oil filters, right? I don't think it's going to happen. But yes, I think that some people will definitely buy them and do funny things with them, as is their right, as is their God-given right. Deer Hunter for 5 says, the NFA getting gutted on the day I turn the big 30. Based? Hey, me and you were 30 twins right now. Even though I lose my 30 card in about 2 months. Tragic. Couldn't ask for a better gift. Enjoy the stream, gents. Got work at 4. Love you and God bless. Well, God bless you too. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Happy birthday. Also, another birthday. Got to mention it. Zanico was supposed to be joining us on stream, but unfortunately, he got hit by a storm and died, which is tragic. Metaphorically speaking, his internet did. But happy birthday to Zanico and to Deer Hunter. I hope you guys have wonderful days filled with friends, family, and all sorts of wonderful shenanigans. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Bastian Cash for 5 says, I'm a chem tech and I saved for months to afford it and got the top one that MSRP is for 4. And I only paid $3,500 after taxes. Really like then this happened. Oh, I see. So wait, why did you say you only paid $2,500 for it? Because right, your previous super chat said you paid like $2,500 for it. Somebody's lying to me, or he just mistyped. Right, $3,500 is the going rate for him, so I get it. All right, let's go over to Ko-Fi here real fast. Geez, there's so much of this to get through. First off, Cholo Shlomo becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep, along with 30N6, Noob Procrastinator, Big Business Advocate, Nicholas Dyson, AR-10 shooter in North Carolina, YOLO Bacon Box. Damn. Noob Procrastinator for $20 says, no money to SAR, and the customer service here is so much better, even when you're not a customer. 271,000 stars. That's a lot of stars. Somehow seems appropriate, though. Miss Clitoris. That's funny. Miss Clitoris becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. Jaw for 3 says, carried with a T-Rex sidecar for years, needed a mag wing for a comp coming up, so just ordered a standard G19 wing, and it's been over 2 weeks and they haven't shipped it. Customer service said they are working on it. The hell is going on over there? Well, I'm not entirely sure. I know that they've laid off some people, so that's a little problematic, but Godspeed on getting your extra holster. If not, you'll do a pocket reload, which has been done before. Polly B for oh no, let me back up and make sure I get it right. Polly B for $20. Let's go.
Come here. I can't fix you. No one can fix you. You are a broken, subhuman piece of trash. A garbage person.
Oh, this pussy putting around. Can I do this or can I do that? My brother in Christ, amazing things are possible through the power of crime. Not legal advice. The important thing is your immortal soul, and feds, like communists, aren't people. Wow, we're getting a lot of Fed hate in the chat, okay? A lot of Fed hate in the chat, but thank you, Polly B. That is very, very base of you, good sir. And yes, the hidden third option is always an option. You always have the thing. You can do the thing, and it's very funny, except for, when you get caught doing the thing, and then it's no longer funny, and I disavow. And then it wasn't my fault, okay? Let's see. Oberg Switchion for $30 says, suppressor cleared today, and my wife told me she is pregnant. Great stream, as always. Pray for Dugan and family. We better get some good rage bait tonight. All glory to God. Well, thank you very much for $20. Let's get some big toe money in the chat.
This song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, take money, big toe money. This is song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good. Your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Take money, big toe money. That's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody.
Levi Platinumberg for 5 says, I'm behind enemy lines right now. Guess where? And NFA items are illegal besides AOWs here, regardless of if you apply for a tax stamp. I personally do not care anymore. I just can't wait to get secondhand can for cheap when I visit another state. Anyways, common GOAW. Thank you very much, Levi Platinumberg. That is a great name. Okay, Goldstein, it's overdone. It's played out. We're upgrading to Platinumberg. Your boy KG becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Jarrett over on Rumble says, finally, being a PSA poor paid off. This still doesn't count as a hopium stream. Romans 15:13. Good night. Christ is king and God is good. Romans 15:13. That's right. Let me pull that up for you. Guys, you got me reading so much. Romans 15:13. All right. Dude, why does it not just pull up exactly what I ask it to do? Okay, this is tragic. Romans 15:13. Here we go. Right, I did say that right. Romans 15:13. Yes, 15:13. Okay. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Thank you very much for that, Jared. Very, very based of you. Have a good night, good sir. And then catching up over here real fast. Gosh dang it, you people. Moonman for 5 says, Lost Arrow and Oh My need to send me those Discord invites again now that I can lad max once more. One more BTM for the boys in the back, the classic one. Fine. Gosh dang it. So much big toe money for one night. Before we do, let me get to this one. Bastion Cash 2.6 before taxes. 3.5K after taxes? How did you spend $900 in taxes? Bastion, I think you got ripped off. I don't think that's taxes, bro. I think that's a lot, Bastion. $900 in taxes on a handgun? You're crazy.
Now, do they go with the 13% or
even that's 30%, bro. That's insane. Well, here's the big toe money for Moon Man.
Money, this is song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, Jake money, big toe money. This is song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good. Your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Jake money, big toe money. That's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody's.
All right, thank you very much for that, Moon Man and Bastion. And then Viva Le Pew too says Instagram algorithms are already showing ads for 80% cans. They're working fast. They're working overtime right now. Okay, those bots are doing what those bots do. BTM on loop the entire stream. That's a lot. That's a lot. Over again, people were now just stop it for a second. I want to get to rage bait because I want to go. I want to go to bed. Okay, not really. I have shooting tomorrow. I got work to do. Amorite Boy over on Ko-Fi for 3 says, FYI, Walmart has 1/2 by 28 thread adapters for oil filters. If you know, you know. Thank you, Amorite Boy. Good tip. Genosion over on Ko-Fi says, is Arizona good? I'm both a Silencer Shop and PSA customer. Will be a GOA member soon. See, that's the thing. I don't know about your specific state or use case or whatever it might be. So you're going to have to look into that. I can tell you that, but I won't know for sure. Like, oh yeah, Arizona, you're good to go. Go make a suppressor right now. You're chill, dog. Like, yeah, I could say that, but I don't know how that would work out for you. DLD After Dark says, Focus Trip, I would love to have you come on my live show specifically to only discuss big toe money, nothing else. Well, that's the only thing I want to talk about. So I'm down with that. Right Seat Aviation for 10 Jewel says, happy poop. Yes, many happy poops are happening in the chat. Okay. I'm glad you guys had a good stream. I'm glad you guys are happy. Okay, but it's time to get into rage bait. Or just normal retarded people, okay? Because we're talking about W's and we got to keep it balanced. Okay, yin to the yang, L's with the W's, and here is our retarded legal system just insulting us to our very core. So Margarita Cielo Balbueno, very American sounding name, a woman who has been in the US since 1989 and cannot speak a word of English, just like me, demands amnesty at a Democrat presser about Delaney Hall. We need a path to citizenship for those of us that have been present at least 7 years in this country. Here's the thing. I don't care how long you've illegally been here. You deserve to be removed. Abuela, I don't care how long you've been a parasite on this country. I don't care how long you've been an invasive species. I don't care how many anchor babies you've had here. I literally don't care. You should go back to where you came from. And listen, if you going back to where you came from is a punishment for being around people like you, well, that's a good reason to not have people like you here in the first place. You know, it's like, what was that politician that said sending people back to Haiti is sending them into hell? And I'm like, yeah, let's kick the demons out and send them back to hell. Like that's right. That's the analogy that you're going with here, right? So yeah, let's get rid of them, please.
Les pido que sean campeones de un cambio a la ley de migración. Necesitamos una vía a la ciudadanía para todos quienes estamos presentes.
Dude, ICE breaking into the presser at this Baptist church, common Protestant L, by the way. I know I have lots of Protestants in the chat. I know. I love you very much. But I'm just saying, okay, it's a little gay.
Por 7 años o más en este país y que paren las redadas y la inmigración aterrorizada.
Also, is this thing like I'm short, like I get it, okay? So this woman might still tower over me, but is she like 3 feet tall?
Looks like probably about 4'9".
Adover.
I ask that you be champions of a change in the immigration laws. We need a path to citizenship for those of us that have been present at least 7 years.
Nah, I don't. I'm not going to listen to you. I apologize. That made me angry just listening to it, actually. Like the parasite saying, like, hey, let me inform you on how I belong here and how I am a member of this society. It's like, no, you're a parasite who's been here illegally for a long time. You don't care about us. You don't care about my people. You don't care about my history, my traditions. And I don't feel like you have any value to anyone. So you should go back to where you came from. All right. Where your people are from. Oh, thank you. All right. We're starting off light, okay? It's a little funnier than it needs. It's not super heavy yet. The rage bait's kind of funny, okay? We're easing into it. Yesterday, I went to Minneapolis polls disguised as a Muslim woman. Poll workers were going to let me vote in other people's names and then vouch for 8 other unregistered foreigners. Full video coming soon. Stay tuned. Now, this is hilarious, okay? We need more undercover people just exposing how much of a joke American voting is. Like, listen, you can vote if you want. You can, it makes you feel good. And, local politics probably still have some sort of effect, but it's all gay, okay? As soon as you let foreigners and paper ballots and all this other non-stuff, or, like mail-in ballots and stuff like that come into play in such huge numbers, like, it's just a joke. It's a complete joke. It's what did Stalin say? It's like the voting doesn't matter. It's the people who count the votes that matters. It's very true. It's very true. Okay. Guy had some banger quotes. All right. I love that so much because that's the Veritas dude, right? On the left. He gets away with so much retarded crap just by wearing like the most obvious disguise of all time, and it's like, oh yeah, I've never met this man before in my life. It's literally the Superman meme. Like, put on a pair of glasses and make your hair messy. And they're like, who are you? Never seen you before. What? Now, I don't know if this woman is a poll worker, but her status in this shot would imply some, level of importance. And if I see this thing as a poll worker, I don't trust any polls coming out of that place. Literally none of them. Not a single one. I just, for some reason, maybe I'm crazy here, but I don't believe this person is unbiased. I don't think this person cares about truth or justice or anything. She's never worked a poll. She's never worked a poll that could hold her, okay? That's the difference. They don't come in XXXXL, bro. Not a fan of polls? Yeah, all right. Would not. Yeah, not a lot of woods in the chat. Not a lot of woods in the chat. Unbelievable. Thank you very much. All right. Right. Okay, now here we go. Now let's go to the opposite side of the spectrum here. We have a couple of Semitic individuals having a great little talk here. This is really disgusting. A Canadian Jewish police officer. Dude, 2 things that I hate. I'll let you decide what they are. A Canadian Jewish police officer also decides not to issue a speeding ticket after learning the driver is also Jewish, saying that the law doesn't apply to them. Talmudic privilege in full effect. Rules for thee, but not for me. This is funny. Of course, also a Floyd. It's like, bleh.
I'm not going to give you a ticket right now because I'm going to give you the courtesy of being a member of Hatzola in Quebec. And I ask that you slow down here in Muncie and you have a safe trip back home.
Thank you so much. You're kind. I wish the police officers in Montreal would be like you.
Reb Shaya ben Reb Moshe.
There you go. Okay, bye.
I love it so much. It's just, to be fair though, this is the same thing that like every other group of police officers do, like black police officers that have a chip on their shoulder about white people, right? And they go in there specifically to punish white people and to allow blacks to get away with stuff, right? Whatever it might be, right? The only group of police officers that is unbiased, unfortunately, is white cops. Okay, if we're all gonna be biased, if we're all gonna play this game of in-group preference, I just wish white people would play it because we'd play it the best. If we're gonna do this game, like, just let everybody play. Just let everybody have an equal opportunity for in-group preference, and we'll have a great time together. Taser, taser, taser. True. And then one day, for no reason at all. Now, every day we get a new one of these euphemisms, okay? We get a new name. We get a new title. Today we have Bonehead Shake Shack employees. That's a new one. I have not heard Bonehead Shake Shack employees today, but you guessed it. A Bonehead Shake Shack employee held coworkers at gunpoint and returned to work 2 days later. I hate Bonehead Shake Shack employees. I looked around, concerned. I thought to myself, Bonehead Shake Shack employees could be here. They could be everywhere. bonehead Shake Shack employees. All right. Let's read about this man's exploits, shall we? A fast food fool. Dude, a fast food fool. Another one. These are bangers, dude. Fast food fools. Pulled off a brazen robbery at gunpoint, taking his Shake Shack coworkers hostage and returning to work only days later. Robbing your own coworkers with a gun and then coming back to work? Is that a good work ethic, or is that a bad work ethic? It's like you'll steal from them and show up for your next shift. I'm actually conflicted now. Is this a really hard worker he's grinding, okay? He works his shift, he gets off, he robs the store and comes back for his next shift. Like the grind never stops. That's actually, yeah, impressive. A raise, yeah, genius. Keandre Simons, 33, covered his face and barged into the Shake Shack location. At least he put on a mask. That's funny. He walks outside. He's like right outside the front door. You can see him in the camera, like awkwardly putting on his mask, and then he turns around and comes in with like a high-pitched voice. He's like, oh, "Give me your money, I'm not Keandre. I don't know who that guy is. He just left in the parking lot. Now, give me your money." Barged into the Shake Shack location where he worked in Scottsdale, Arizona, armed with a semi-automatic handgun on August 3rd. Simons then allegedly led one worker to a walk-in cooler at gunpoint and forced the store manager to open the store safe and hand over about $2,800. Simons is accused of locking both employees inside the cooler, forcing them both to kneel at gunpoint. He's also accused of forcing them to turn over their cell phones, which he allegedly destroyed in a sink full of water. Both victims told police that the suspect's physical appearance, voice, and familiarity with the restaurant were consistent with Simons. It's like, at some point they're like, wait, that's just Keandre. That's just Keandre. It's like, it's big, he's fat, he's stupid, he talks with that accent, he can barely speak English. It's like, that's just Keandre, dude. Hey, Keandre, can you let us out of here, bro? It's cold in here. Keandre, please. Including his knowledge of the walk-in cooler latch, where gloves and cleaning wipes were kept, and the layout of employee-only areas. Simon had also called out sick that morning, earlier than he typically did. He usually calls out sick. Let me guess, he also shows up late, too. According to investigators, footage from the Shake Shack and nearby property backed up the victim's testimony, showing the suspect entering and leaving through the rear of the restaurant before driving away in a green SUV, according to court records. Keandre, come on. Simons had a search warrant placed on his cell phone for records around the time the robbery allegedly happened. Detectives watched Simons leave his apartment and drive to the Shake Shack location, where he was arrested in the parking lot of August 5th. Dude, that's so funny. He's like, this retard, right? This retarded scholar was like, you know what? I'm going to rob this store. I'm going to take my manager into the back. I'm going to lock him in the cooler. I'm going to take the money. And then I don't want to be suspicious, y'all. I can't be suspicious, y'all. So then I come into work on Wednesday. Right? I don't want to be suspicious, so I got to go back to work so that they don't know it was me. Like, he has this whole master plan up in his head, of like all of this genius level planning and execution. He thinks he's in like an Ocean's movie, right? And in reality, it's like just the retard meme where he's trying to push the square thing into the round thing and he just can't do it. All right, bro. Yeah, I am glad to expose some new people to rage bait. I might have to skip that one. It might be a little too edgy, but here we go. We have Black woman meets accountability. All right. Or attempts to dodge accountability. Spoiler alert, does not work out very well. My apologies to everyone who has not been afflicted with this. 2 women were detained by the Bay County Sheriff's Office, after allegedly leaving a dog out in extreme heat. One of the women raged against the people who reported the dog's bite to police, explaining dumb white bitches. Listen, okay, at least it was a dog and not a kid. But I mean, Black people literally murder 50% of their children, more than 50% of their children. It's like 52% of all Black pregnancies end in abortion or murder. So it's like, this is a great screenshot too, by the way. So of course they're not going to care about a dog. Like, they murder their own children. Like, what's a dog? What's a dog to a fetus? They don't care.
Always in for business. Always white people. Get dumb white bitches.
My dog.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
out here dying. No, the not.
Ma'am. I need your ID. We're not gonna start.
White people always get so busy.
We're not gonna start hollering. Can I get your
I don't
ID?
got my ID. I gotta go get it.
Hold on. What's your name?
Lashade Marshall.
Lashade? Lashide? La shit in my pants. We was pet owners. That's funny.
Hold on. Hey, ma'am. Stay right here.
No, I'm finna put my dog.
No, you're fixing to listen. Don't let the dog loose. I got animal control en route.
White people always in fucking folk. Yeah.
Well, that dog's been drinking water since I've been here, and it still can't stop panting.
Okay.
So, because it's way too hot.
White people always in folks' business. Always white people. Get dumb white bitches.
Well, she's worried about the
I don't
dog.
care. She my whole business. This has nothing to do with her. You either, actually. Good, take them. We don't need them anyway.
Okay.
Take the dog.
Well,
What a disgusting person, right? Like, you get upset for being caught, basically abusing your dog, right? It's like abusing kids, abusing your dog. It's just awful, evil, cruel behavior. But of course, nothing exists outside of time and space for these people, right? It's like no object permanence or anything else like that. Empathy, what's that? No idea. Yeah, and just no consequences for your actions. And then as soon as somebody's like, oh, well, we'll just take it from you because that's what should happen, right? You obviously shouldn't be trusted with a dog, let alone another human. And she's like, okay, fine, I don't need it. I don't like that thing. Dumb white people won't let me murder my dog. Won't let me kill my dog. Dumb white people. White bitches. All right.
when animal control gets here, you can relinquish it to them.
There's nothing wrong with my fucking dog.
Well, listen, do you see how he's acting?
Okay, I see that. He's hot, of course.
That's just not hot. That's him been out here for a while. Because he's drank a whole thing of water. He shouldn't be panting like that after drinking a whole thing of water.
Ain't nothing wrong with my dog. Hey, I had a ton of dogs. He is not gonna die.
We're gonna get ready to go, baby. I had to take him out the car. I didn't want him.
I want to know their net combined addition to the tax code. All right. Because, dude, if I had to guess, I'm thinking so many different babies from different baby daddies, Section 8 housing, EBT off the wazoo. I think you might be looking at like minus $500,000 on screen right now. In terms of like net addition to the tax code, these two are probably negative, like maybe even $1 million. These two individuals might be negative $1 million to the American tax code. What did the was it the DOJ? Did they put out numbers the other day that every deportation costs like $2,500? It's like, yeah, just get rid of all of them. Like $2,500 for some of these people is like their monthly EBT budget. If you have like 7 kids, not including housing or anything else, or healthcare, Medicare, burdens on society, crime, everything else, right? I mean, these guys are minus huge net tax takers, parasites, whatever you want to call them, right? Minus 271,000 might be. But yeah, $2,500 to get rid of them, like, I mean, listen, like, I am totally for saying to every single one of these people, I will give you $10,000 to go back to Africa. It's so worth it. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but it's so worth it. They self-deport. They renounce their U.S. citizenship. They're never allowed back in. The border is closed permanently. But just give them $10,000. It literally, if we gave them $50,000 each, it would still be worth it. It would pay off in like 1 year or 2 years. It would pay off so quickly. It'd be one of the best investments of all time. Yeah, exactly. Sean said it at the same time. Good.
Instead of giving them $10,000 to move back to Africa, can we just drop $10,000 between two of them and say tryouts?
Do the Dark Knight thing where it's like, I've got a room in my country for one. Okay. And I need the best ones. Okay. So I'll let you decide who that is. That's funny.
Now, do we know where this took place at?
It says the Bay County Sheriffs. Is this in California? Bay County? I'm not familiar with Bay County or these other places. I mean, it's hot, but it's hot in like most of the US right now, so it could be anywhere. I'm not sure. Bum fights 2.0, but we call it black fights. Doctor fights, yeah. Let's see. All right. Now we got some real rage bait, and this one makes my blood boil specifically. One, it's the public school system, which I hate. There's a couple other elements in here that I also hate. Criminal library. We have a young scholar here interacting with a female teacher wearing a mask who is incapable of handling this situation. Like, to me, like if I saw one of these individuals attacking a woman anywhere, right? I would just want their head like mashed into the pavement, you know? It's like, we're just going to use the pavement as a bit of sandpaper and we're going to drag your face across it until there's nothing left, right? What an awful, evil individual. That's like 14 years old. They often ask, when do I become evil? When do I become dangerous? For these types of people, it's like, I don't know, kindergarten, preschool, first grade.
Oh! What? You think that affected me any? You want me to hit you again? You want me to hit you again? I don't want it. You want me to hit you again? I don't want it. You want me to hit you again? My God. Oh! Stop fucking playing with me. I told your dumb ass I'm not those dumb ass glass off your fucking face. And do I look like I care? What the fuck wrong with you? What you gonna do? Still sit in that chair? You use a bitch. My granny, nigga, stop fucking playing with me. What the fuck wrong with you? Bitch ass nigga. Ain't nobody ever come and you just got slapped. Bitch, go back to teaching. That's so fast. One more time.
Student slaps North Carolina teacher twice in the face after she confiscates his vape pen. Now that woman is
she?
What?
She?
Yeah, I know. Okay, like there's lots of like, I told you there's lots of weird stuff going on here that I hate. Okay. Like I couldn't put my kids around an animal like this with a teacher like that. Like listen, if you strike a teacher, it should go down like right then and there, basically, right? Like I couldn't imagine the horrors that go on inside of this institution where students just laugh at someone else getting assaulted. No one stands up, not another student, not a resource officer. Nobody curb stomps this guy immediately. No consequences for his actions.
The teacher couldn't stand up for himself because deep down he's still a white male.
Well, like it's the joke about, you know, public school teachers, they have the hardest job in the world, and then you ask them why and they just can't tell you that it's because of black students, right? They'll say anything other than being like black students. Like, why is your job so stressful? And can't tell you, but there it is.
Oh! Stop fucking playing with me, bitch ass nigga. What? You think that affected me any? You want me to hit you again? You want me to hit you again? I don't want it. You want me to hit you again? I don't want it. You want me to hit you again? My God. Oh! Stop fucking playing with me.
Yeah, but you think like, oh, why do black kids act like this? They get away with it, right? If this guy got curb stomped,
do that to him.
What's up?
Because dad didn't ever do that to him.
Oh yeah. So okay, first off, if I ever as a kid did that to an adult, obviously my dad wouldn't kill me, but I think that the consequences of my actions would have been severe, swift, and terrible. Okay. If I ever saw one of my kids, my oldest is 6, obviously, so I wouldn't be quite to the same level. But if I saw like one of my 12-year-old kids like assault a person like this over something that they had caused, right? You know, it would be taken out immediately. Okay, consequences would arrive timely. And yeah, nobody stands up, nobody does anything, and you're like, oh, why do these teens have a 20-page arrest record by 21? It's like, well, this is their behavior starting in school, in middle school. It's like this is just what these people are. They need to receive immediate consequences of their actions. Otherwise, they're never going to learn anything else.
And by these people, do you mean
nigga? Well, you know, I didn't say that, but some people certainly would. And here's the continuation of that, right? So this young thing is slapping teachers, and then as soon as they get out and they get into the workforce, then they just start murdering, right? That's what they do, right? That's the grand prize. They really never meet consequences until they murder someone. And that's what we have here. 9mm SMG, good account. You should follow them. We live in hell. We don't have to, but we choose to. This is hell. White 56-year-old husband and father Frederick Litton was working alongside black 23-year-old Devin Rice at a U-Haul facility in West Nashville. You already know how this ends. The two men reportedly were arguing about a soda when Frederick Litton turned and walked away from the verbal dispute, returning to his workstation. Moments later, Devin Rice walked up behind Lighton, pulled out a handgun, and emptied it into Lighton's back, killing him.
Very, very
Husband.
insensitive, but was it orange or grape?
Did he, on justified crash out, he took the last grape soda. That's a good point. I didn't, honestly, I didn't think about it from his perspective. How stupid of me. I apologize for my bigotry. Yeah, but over, husband, father, got a beautiful family there, working at a U-Haul. You got this retarded groid as your coworker. You're arguing over a soda. You leave, and he comes back with a gun and just cold blood, retard, no soul, no forethought, no prefrontal cortex, nothing. Takes you out over nothing, right? Just look at young Devin's angel face. Who could possibly have predicted that such a sweet boy would have such low impulse control? It's been a week since this black on white murder, and as usual, zero national coverage. Numerous local media have covered the story. Zero have published the white victim's photograph. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Something tells me that this thing on the right just isn't any benefit to society, and we can just kind of move on, right? We just don't really need it. It's just, I don't really think you serve any purpose here other than, again, the brown biomass fuel reactor that we're going to be setting up here. Yeah, I think you're just fuel. You're just fertilizer. Sorry, bro. No other value you could possibly have to society. There's one more on here. It's really heavy. It's the worst one.
Do you want to
we're already having a bad night. Okay, I'm just going to get to it and then we're going to get out of here. Okay, because this one is awful. I saw Mr. Guns and Gear post this one. What a disgusting, subhuman individual that needs to be drawn, quartered, and become a wind chime. All right, we need to start decorating the city square with people like this as a message to all those who think of, well, these people don't really think that much, for all those who attempt to carry out something so depraved and violent. Tashawn Gardner, 23 years old. I doubt he's done any gardening in his life. Raped a woman in her home at gunpoint, but that wasn't depraved enough for him. When he realized the woman's 12-year-old daughter was also in the home, he stopped his ongoing rape of the woman and found the 12-year-old little girl. He then proceeded to rape both women and record himself doing so. When people say you are your own first responder, this is what we mean. Everyone has a choice. Do you want to arm yourself and family with a firearm and the knowledge skills to use it, or do you want to be a victim and have the police show up and take a report of the crime after it has happened? Not making a choice is a choice. Arm yourself accordingly. Here's a clip of the report. The woman said that the suspect knocked on her front door and was wearing an American flag mask. The man, later identified as Gardner, then flashed a handgun and told the woman to let him inside. Gardner then raped the woman inside of her home. After looking at family pictures on the wall, he asked if anyone else was inside the house, to which the woman said no, trying to protect her daughter. Gardner then stopped the sexual assault of the woman, walked down the hallway to a child's bedroom, and used his cell phone to record himself as he raped both the woman and a 12-year-old girl. Again, it's just, we have the video. Instant death penalty, drawn, quartered, flayed alive, turn his skin suit into a flag and, hang it above the city, the town hall, right? Whatever it might be. Just no point, no use, no thank you, goodbye, you're done. Thanks, but no thanks. You're a disgusting, worthless, subhuman that needs to be removed immediately.
This happened in Indianapolis. How wonderful.
Boneheaded Shake Shack employees could be here. You never know when one of those boneheaded Shake Shack employees is going to go a little crazy over grape soda. We got grape soda and rape. I was gonna try and tie those two together as a joke, but it's not worth it. Nope. Just kill these people. It needs to be quick, efficient, brutal, public, all the things. Get that off my screen. Moonman for 5 says, explain this to me like I'm 5. If this means I can finally make the DOE I bought for fun actually fun. Well, yes, you throw in your favorite super safety, you throw on your favorite stock and suppressor, and you're good to go. You do whatever the heck you want with it, bro. Provided you live in a cool state without gay retarded legislation. Yeah, you do whatever you want, bro. Listen, you got enough money, just bribe the police officers, okay? What's going to go? What could possibly go wrong? Stephen Rivas, member for 6 months, says, let's go birthday stream. Stay prayed up. You need to pray. This nation needs a lot of prayer. Read your Bible. Christ is king. Also, practice your dry fire. This is a threat of love. Very based, Stephen Rivas. I appreciate your threatening prayers. Moonman for 10 says, I would like to return to form and say that for the record, I am Pol Pot pilled on them. Anakin maxed, not just the men, but the women and the children too. The soil is lonely. Well, we do have a fertilizer crisis. You know, one of the interesting things about the Iran war is that a lot of fertilizer comes through the Strait of Hormuz. So you're starting to see fertilizer shortages in parts of the world. And we have a lot of brown biomass that we can turn into fertilizer, right? I think this is a wonderful solution has presented itself for the problem at hand. Brown biomass 2028. Thank you, Moonman. Appreciate that, sir. Paulie B for 5 says, when the last euphemism for black criminally is penned, this regime will collapse under its own weight like a dying star. It's going to happen at some point, right? It just is. It's not something you should be necessarily like excited for or egging on, but you should understand that that just is the way of the world. It always has been. It always will be. It's sad and awful that it will eventually come down to it, but at some point, yes, it just will, right? I look throughout the history book and I see a lot of violence. You know, it's like the thing where they say violence never solves anything. And then you look through the history books and you're like, actually, violence solves almost everything. Every single time, in fact. It's crazy that it almost always comes down to force. That's wild. Thank you, Paulie B. Appreciate that. AppTac USA for 2. You can get cool slings from him. Says, we're not voting our way out of this. You can't. See, that's the problem, is you can't vote your way out because that person who raped the mother and daughter has the same voting power as you do, or had before they got arrested, right? That person with 40 IQ and evil, disgusting, satanic individual had the same voting rights as you do. What are you going to do? Outvote them? They're importing them faster than you're having children. So no, of course not. You can't vote your way out. It's not possible. The mechanisms at play do not allow for that. We have to change the mechanisms, and to do that, sorry, that's a lot of force. Thank you, AppTech. Appreciate that, good sir. Liberty lives in 1776 for 2 says, Reagan. True. Always true. Thank you. Liberty lives in 1776. Our word. Black Flag for 5 says, how can we expect an animal to take care of another animal? That's a good point, referring to the 2 esteemed black women attempting to kill their dog due to, heat exposure. It's a good question. It's like, who watches the... Thank you, Black Flag and Ben. I appreciate that, Ben. Zanico for 2 says, power on, pumping water, send prayers, and toe picks. All right, buddy. Oh, hey, happy birthday again, Zanico. Appreciate that you got it all working. Sorry that storm did a number on you, son. Thank you, Zany. Paulie B for 5 says, I'd say make him a lampshade, but too dark. In this regard, at least the merchants were better hosts.
Oh, wow.
Damn. All right. Thank you, Paulie B. Chud for 2 says, TND also, as a PSA former buyer, can I make SBRs? 1 hour, 40 minutes. Exactly. 1 hour and 40 minutes. I think so. Oh, I don't know. Are you asking me, bro? You're asking me for permission or for clarity? Okay. I don't got either. I can neither grant you permission nor clarity. Thank you, Chud.
Give him forgiveness instead.
Yeah. Well, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Okay. Moonman for 5 says, was there ever a review for the cheap red dot? It's sitting. All right. Dude, I haven't put out a video in like 6 months. I worked on the script of my next video yesterday. I was supposed to get to it today. It's been a minute. I haven't put out a video in a while. I promise you, though. Okay. Promise is made. Promise is kept. Okay. All right. We're very Trumpian here. It will be made someday. I still demand that also play whatever the last thing was that Logan paid for. I'm sure it's a horse girl. Demand also play whatever the last thing that was Logan paid for. Well, listen, Moonman, if you're here on Friday, we do Friday night community games. And I think we're doing Halo community games on Friday, right? You know, it'd be really funny is if Moon Man came in and dropped like a ridiculous dono and made everyone play like some retarded gay, like anime multiplayer game. What's an anime multiplayer game that would punish everyone involved? It'd be very funny. Very, very funny. Thank you, Moon Man. I appreciate you, good sir. Hope you're having a good night out there. I think that's everything.
I got introduced to a riveting game earlier today called Buckshot Roulette.
That's the one where I've seen that. It's like a little independent game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a little creepy first, but I got to say the whole strategy behind it, it was entertaining for like the 10, 15 minutes that I was there.
Big Bean says, how long is the Halo stuff going to last? I like Friday nights. I like being more chill one day of the week. So I like playing games. So I'd play, Friday night Halo nights. So why not? I got a big enough audience that we get, full lobbies every night. So why not every Friday just have a gaming night after a short regular stream? So yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. Actually, Richard, sign off. Okay, bro, we're getting out of here.
I just want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out. And I want everyone in here to wish Zanico a happy birthday, both in chat and in the comments.
Deer Hunter too. Zanico and Deer Hunter get happy birthdays, okay?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Anything else, Richard?
No, that's it. Just I appreciate it all, you guys. Thank you for all the well wishes and everything.
Well, thank you very much for hanging out, good sir. To everyone in the chat, some good news and some good news sells, okay? Apparently, because it brought everyone in 1,400 live. That's one of the biggest streams we've had in a while since I think the Gypsy Crusader fight. So to everyone watching, hanging out, thank you very much. Good news, okay? Take the wins where you can. I know everything looks doomy and gloomy and lame over there, but you can just forget about that for a minute. Take the W. Tomorrow, suppressors and SBRs for everyone, okay? Regardless of if your state allows it or not, okay? You know what? If I'm the one giving permission, I give you permission to do as thou wilt. But with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for support. Prayers for Dugan, support Dugan, all of that. Let me drop the link in the chat one last time for you wonderful folks, and not folks in the way that some other people use it. But with all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. See you in the next one. God bless. Godspeed. Christ is King.